All right, thanks for that. Hopefully that's corrected. Let me know over comments. Thank you. I don't know what you're talking about.
What needs to be corrected? So it was your fault. Was it your problem or was it her problem? Whose problem was it?
It was everyone's problem.
So it was your problem. But was it your problem? I don't know. You literally just said to me, that's our problem. All right. Listen, before I have to kill Joe, let's move on with our lives. All right. So good morning, everyone. I hope everybody had fun at the kids class that was there. We are going to kick off a dynamic warm-up. Oh, okay, Joe's gonna lead it. That's awesome. Okay, great.
All right.
Okay. No.
Fraser is, of course, with us, so I'm going to lead the dynamic warm-up. For those of you who have been in my classes, whether it's been 6 a.m. or sometime in the evening, and we do run into a dynamic warm-up, usually I do some running around, but because we don't have the space, I'm going to just lead through the traditional Joe Markavich dynamic warm-up. Hopefully I do have a few 6 a.m.ers. They always seem to enjoy this, so we'll get that started now. So if you can see on your screen, just put up a couple of the movements we'll be going through. Would you mind turning that down just a touch? And with those movements that we'll be going through, I'll be not providing a lot of instruction, but we'll just be demonstrating a little bit, and we'll be going into it. All right. So first thing, grab an object. Could be a PVC, could be a dumbbell, something very light, could be a milk jug, and just give yourself 20 curls, 10 on each arm, 20 if you have a static object. So you want to start? You want to mute that, your phone? Thank you. And you're just making sure you really get a nice bicep curl, good constriction, a good flex there at the top. And you can kind of rotate your wrists a little bit to really let that bicep curl set in. So from there, we're going to log in. We're going to do some presses. So you're going to bring your object up to your front rack. For me, if it's the PVC, I'm just going to have my fingers loose so I can do that. And we're going to do 20 presses as well. Make sure you get your head through at the top. So from there, shake those arms out. We're going to grab that same object. If you have a single object, you're just going to do deadlifts at each side. Say if it's a dumbbell, like a suitcase, making sure you keep balance. If you have a static PVC, you're just going to bring that thing to mid-shin and do 20 deadlifts. All right, so from here, we're going to go into a series of stretches for the inner thigh. So I'm going to drop the camera a little bit. We're going to get into that push-up plank position. And we're going to bring our right thigh up first. And then we're going to do the same thing with our left. So keep your volume up. Turn your music down a little bit. Because on the next portion of this, I'm going to be doing some counts. First, stretch out those calves just by pushing through the shoulders. And hold that for a couple seconds. Now toggle to your right calf. Do the same thing. Push forward through the shoulders. Toggle to your left. Push forward through the shoulders. And now bring that right leg up. And really dive in to that inner thigh stretch. Keep pushing through the shoulders. We're going to do the same thing on the left leg. Bring that left leg up. Dive in. Loosen up those hips. So from here, we're going to go into a little bit of a down dog. I'm going to count you guys off for 5 seconds. And then we're going to go into a push-up hover position. Count you guys off for 5 seconds. And we're going to repeat that 4 more times. So let's go into that down dog. You're pushing through the shoulders. For 3, 2, 1. Now you're hovering in a push-up position. For 3, 2, 1. Now you're back into that down dog. For 3, 2, 1. Now you're hovering in that push-up position. 3, 2, 1. Back into the down dog. 3, 2, 1. Hovering into that push-up position. That's it. 2, 1. Back in the down dog. We only got a couple more of these. That's it. Hold it. Hold it. And back down in that push-up position. That's it. Last down dog. Hold it. And into that push-up position. And now give me 5 push-ups. And on that 5th push-up, jump into a burpee and give me 25 hops. After your 25th hop, you're going to dive into another burpee. And give me 25 more hops. And then we're going to do one more burpee. And 25 more hops. All right, I forgot to write this on there, but do 10 lunges on each leg. Next one, all right, grab your PVC. If you have one, we're going to go through some dislocates. A broomstick will work as well. Maybe you have a set of crutches. We'll go through some around the worlds and dislocates. If you don't have any of those things, do some shoulder circles and get wider as we start to get deeper into the counts with the PVC for around the worlds and dislocates. All right, we'll start with our dislocates, touching the small of the back and the middle of the abdomen. We'll do about 4 more of those. Then we're going to bring the right arm over the head for around the world. Yeah. All right, once you get to number 7, leave that on your right side and give yourself some twirls. And then we're going to do 7 around the world with the left arm. Okay, those of you who don't have a broomstick or a PVC, you're just going to do double the squats that we do in this next portion for the warm-up. So for the folks of you who have something you can get overhead or put on a front rack, you're going to do 5 squats or 5 overhead squats and then 5 snatch balance. So it'll look like this. Bring it down. Overhead squat. Bring it down. For those of you who are just doing squatting, give me 20 air squats. All right, everybody do the overhead squat, snatch balance. All right, so if you've got a pull-up bar, jump on that pull-up bar, do about 10 seconds of a hang, and then do 1 pull-up. I always do that during the warm-up. If you don't have a pull-up bar, find an object where you can stretch out your lats. So I'm going to use our garage door right here. I'm going to stretch out my lats, kind of pull a little bit. Hold that for 10. And then the object that you did your presses with, grab that and do some bent over rows. Okay, and let's finish it up with 10 burpees. instruction. Okay, guys, that concludes our warm-up. We're going to be getting started with WOD instruction. Mostly everybody knows the body weight movements. However, the scheme might be a little different depending on whether or not you have a teammate and just overall splitting up the work evenly. So Colleen is going to go through that.
F3, right?
No, right.
Just them right there. Okay, guys. Happy Saturday. I hope some of you guys are actually training with us at this moment, because I need a little pull from the outside right now. Definitely not in the mood to work out today, and then making an all body weight workout, and I really don't want to work out today, so I'm gonna feed off of your energy. So here's what we have today. This is for time, and there is no cap on the time. Maybe I should move to the, oh well, when I get there, okay. No cap. I'm not sure how long we'll let it run. We're gonna wear our vests today, which is always super challenging for me, so it might take us a little bit longer than it would if we didn't, but that's okay. So we have 200 air squats, 150 push-ups, 200 air squats, 100 double squatters, 200 air squats, and 50 burpee step overs. We're gonna split all of that work in half. So when we start off with that first 200 air squats, that's gonna be 100 for me and 100 for Joe. We are going to do the style today where only one person works at a time. We haven't been doing that. One person works at a time, the other partner is resting. So we can go back and forth in any sets we choose on those 200 air squats to get the 100 apiece, but only one of us can work at a time. So 200 air squats. We've been doing a lot of air squats, so I don't really think you guys need to hear criteria, but I'm gonna say it anyways, just to remind you. And always make sure that you are holding yourself to the utmost of standards as though I'm in the back of the room like this, okay? So hips are gonna pass back and down. He's gonna keep his heels on the floor as he shows me from across the room that those hips are making it below that knee line, okay? So we're looking to be lower than that. If it causes your squat to be scary or sloppy to get to that point, then I want you to find an object to squat to so that you actually are sitting back as though you're sitting in a chair, okay? So you're trying to keep that trunk as vertical as possible, so that shouldn't change much. He's gonna push his butt back, touch whatever the object is, and then stand nice and tall, keeping the knees apart from one another or right over the tops of the feet, but just making sure they're never inside. Your knees are never inside of your feet, okay? And also, we don't want any sad teras. Don't forget about that, no sad teras. So if at the very top of the squat, you are leaning forward and not finishing that rep, that is known very well as a sad tera. We don't do sad teras, okay? Stand all the way up, nice and tall, like real tera would, happy tera. Chest tall, shoulders back, nice straight line underneath. So for your push-ups today, I know that if you're doing an RX push-up, you know how to do an RX push-up. We're gonna do 75 a piece today, and if you're wearing a vest, 75 is already a lot of push-ups for me. Add in a vest, and I'm in a real bad mood during that portion. So make sure that you're keeping everything true to heart. So he's starting off in a beautiful straight line. He's gonna have his feet stuck together, squeeze his legs together. He's gonna let his body work as one unit. So and his entire body is engaged. He's letting all of it do a little portion of this movement. So he tracks the elbows back nice and tight as he pulls his chest down towards the floor, and then he's gonna press out aggressively to get himself through that little sticking point at the bottom to get himself back to lockout as quickly as possible. For my scalers, we talk about knees down, toes still glued to the floor, okay? Don't pick those up. We're not trying to be little pinups, right? We're trying to make sure that this is as transferable to our real push-up as possible. So making sure his butt is not pointing up towards the ceiling. He has a pretty straight line from shoulder to knee. Can you lift your hands out just a little bit this way? And he's gonna go ahead through that same range of motion. Chest down to the floor, press out nice and tight. So if you've been doing these for a while and they're starting to feel decently easy, but you're like, yeah, but still when I go to push out, if I don't have my knees down, I kind of get that worm. I want you to take it to the next level to try to work through some work without your knees. So he's gonna start off in a plank position. He is gonna take himself all the way down to that chest to the floor position, drop the knees, but staying completely engaged and tight, and then pressing out. Okay, so he still has that perfect straight angle. I can go with him. That perfect straight angle. I'll never be able to figure that out. But his knees are down to make sure that he can still press through without any of that breakdown or that opening up of that rib cage. Okay? Good. Perfect. Okay, so try something a little bit harder today if you can. Once we're done with our push-ups, we're going to go back to 200 air squats, and we have a double squatter. So the double squatter is going to be 50 apiece. Those are going to look like this. This double part is going to be the squat. So he's going to jump back to a plank position. He's going to jump into a below parallel position immediately. You can't skip this. Your butt should not be higher than this point as you jump into where he's at. He's going to stand tall, and then he's going to give me another squat. Okay, so he's going to jump back. He's going to jump into that below parallel, stand tall, another squat. That's one rep. So again, here's one rep. Jump back, jump in, stand tall, squat. Okay, any questions on that? Go ahead and pop them onto the comments, and we can go over that again if anybody needs. Your 200 air squats, again, and then lastly, you guys are going to do 50 burpee step overs. For your step over height, we're going to go 20 inches today. If you're building something at home, just make sure that it's super, super safe, super sturdy. You're not going to have any of those working out at home fails like we watched yesterday that Jimmy Carroll graced us all with. Some of them were actually pretty scary. So just make sure that whatever you're using, you are 100% confident. If you don't have a box, try to, chairs and maybe some like side tables and stuff like that, or stools are probably your safest bet. Get as close to 20 inches as you can, but if you don't have 20 inches, that's okay. So his burpee doesn't change. He's going to be box facing, so he's going to take his chest and thighs all the way down to the floor, dropping quickly. Make sure you're not doing another push-up here. Then he's going to punch the chest upward as he jumps himself into flat feet on the floor, and then step up and over. Both feet need to touch the top of the box. The opposite rep, the next rep, is going to start on the opposite side of the box. Okay, so this is just like a burpee box jump over or a box jump over. Rep is always going to start on the opposite side. This is 25 for you, 25 for your partner. So you guys can go back and forth however you see fit. Even ones, if that's what it calls for, which is likely where we'll end up. Did I miss anything there? Make sure both feet touch the top of the box with that, and the rep is over, like your partner can start their rep when both of his feet are on the floor, okay? So you can't start to drop down as he's coming over the box. You have to wait till that rep is fully complete before you can do anything else. All right, so again, if you guys are working with a partner, try to make sure that you break it down to a manageable set. But the goal is not to have your partner standing there for a bizarre amount of time cooling down, okay? So figure out what makes sense for you guys to go back and forth, where nobody's getting too long of a rest, and ultimately nobody's working for too long. Your cash out today, which we will not stay on for, we're looking for a 1 mile run. You guys can break that down however you see fit. If you're going to do a straight out mile run, maybe you go for that max effort. If you're going to break it down into cycles of 100, 200, 400, or 800, then figure out what is a manageable, or I shouldn't say manageable, I should say a realistic rest in between. Like, don't rest 5 minutes after a 400, right? Maybe rest a minute. Don't rest 2 minutes after a 100, maybe rest 30 seconds. So break that down however you see fit, and do it whenever you want, right after the workout or at any time throughout the day since it's Saturday. All right, still there?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get our vests on. We're gonna make sure nobody has any questions. Lisa said, nice run, Joe. We're gonna make sure nobody has any questions. Vest up, and then we will get started in we'll get started at 11:40. It's 11:34 right now.
Four? Okay. No, that's good. You can just leave it there for now.
Okay. Fancy pants.
And then what you have to do with the clock is it's got to be in focus so we can actually just bring it to the front.
Is it in there though? The whole
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, it's in there.
That's correct, Colleen. You have to finish each movement before moving on to the next. So as it's written is the order in which it needs to be attacked. Mia says she really enjoyed the warm-up hops. Maybe incorporate some of those into the workout as well. 1 million hops. All right, guys, any other questions? Pop them up.
Can you walk back in the squatter? All right. Final ruling on the squatter. You must jump back. That would be considered your RX. If you're scaling, more than welcome to step back and then jump forward into that squat or step forward into that squat. But they're going to be hard. guy.
I want you guys to know not my jam. So I hope you guys are working with me. Mark Campetti once said to me, even the thought of me in a vest makes him feel uncomfortable. So imagine how I feel. Yeah. Hello. What are we gonna say?
All right. Let's get ourselves more. What do you want our schemes to be?
Not big.
Yeah, we can go that wherever you want.
All right.
What do you say, 5 of these?
Or ones.
Ones? Okay.
They don't have to be. They can be fun.
10s on the air squats?
Yeah.
Double push-ups. You want to start with 3s?
What? On what? Push-ups? Let's go 5s and then 3s.
Okay.
Do you have a board though, so we can track?
So, how many push-ups a piece?
That's gonna take a really long time.
There's a bunch.
All right, guys, we're gonna get started.
Squats are 10, right? Squats, we'll do 3.
Yeah. So I'm trying to watch to make sure we don't lose anything.
What do you mean?
I don't know, my phone's being weird. All right, we're 2 minutes over. Are you almost done?
Yeah. I mean, we're going to do step orders one at a time. So what's the order? Squats.
Squats,
Yeah.
push-ups, squats, squatters, squats, burpee.
Okay. We have 200.
So it should be 200, 150, 200, 100, 200, 50.
All right.
We watched a Tupac movie last night, so we're going to try to play some Tupac. Not sure how it's going to go. Probably be skipping a lot of songs. All right, guys, what's the countdown when I hit it? How do I play it?
35 seconds. All right, guys, we're going to get started in 35 seconds. Here we go. Okay. Go back. Down.
It's gonna be some stuff you're gonna see. It's gonna make it hard to smile in the picture. But through whatever you see, through all the rain and pain, you gotta keep a sense of humor. You gotta be able to smile through all the bullshit. Yeah. What up? This is Dr. Dre. The party's going on. Thank God it's Friday. Keep the heads ringing. So get up and get a move on and get your groove on. It's the D.R.E. the spectacular. Every party is gonna be your next, so go and clap it up. That's how the brain of niggas juggle the brain and maintain the lead blood safe. So don't complain, just chill.
Hi, guys.
Try to kill a drill, but get pop like a pimple. So call me Curtis, so my white niggas all the rest of the earth since birth. I've been up and at it, let me tell you what I'm worth. Rules gonna slip, mama. I cross through my damn saucer. Music flows like a flying saucer. On a 747 jet. Don't forget, I'm that nigga that keeps the whole Spanish wet. The mic gets stuck. Once you hear a big kid, we move so funky, they come with a speed stick. So check the flavor that I'm bringing. The motherfucking D.R.E. Keep it motherfucking ringing. So I can collect respect. Plus a check, now I'm fit to get into my mental and take care of this business I need to attend to. Cause my rent's due, and this rap shit's my meal ticket. So you goddamn right I'm a ticket, or get it cooking. I play Joe like Stephen King, or Black Casanova, running niggas over like Rich Shane. When I rock the spot, put the flavor I got, I get plenty of ass, I'm only an astronaut. That's a blast faster than a nigga's ass. Thought it was strong, but I'm smoking my grass, just like Jesus Shaw. When I flow, niggas know it's time to take a hike. Cause I grab the mic and flip my tongue like a dog. I got rhymes that keep you shining. Produce a smoke screen with the phone screen to keep your eyes smiling. So check the flavor that I'm bringing. The motherfucking D.R.E. Keep the motherfucking heads ringing. Keep the heads ringing. Never dare to flip or scare, wear a chair without a care. Running shit as if I wasn't there. But I ain't no politician, no competition. Sending all opposition to see a mortician. I'm on front, never in the background. Step on stage and get paid just like a flat top. Your rhyme sounds like you're born and stop and go. Drake came to write you, so just call me my big glow. Many try to, but just can't rock with. I'm 6'1", 225, but the real shot with. Get your hands to the jacket, be a slim G. Cause I rock from center to center, comes down the chimney. I'm so low and slow as I continue to flow. Cause yo, I'm just a fly nigga, so check the flavor that I'm bringing. The motherfucking D.R.E. I keep the motherfucking heads ringing. Yeah, I keep the motherfucking heads ringing. Yeah, I keep the heads ringing. Get it? I keep the heads ringing. Yeah, let's go back up in that ass for the 199 to the nickel. So all you motherfuckers out there trying to get this, don't even try. Put shit through the knife. Yeah. I know you got your head. Cause I can see. me know you in the house.
You feel like turning into a thing.
Yeah, that's right. We out.
Alright, one more round, case of 3.
The blind stares on big pairs of eyes, looking hard before realize that they'll never see the peace.
Alright.
Take that, take that, take that.
Okay. Ready?
Let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West. A state that's untouchable like alien nest. The track is your ear torn like a slug to your chest. Like a vest when you Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that sunshine state for the bomb and its envy. The state where you never find a dance floor empty. And Vince me on a mission for them creams. Lean bean, money making machines serving beans. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honey's was spelling Sassoon, now it's 95 and they drop me and watch me down and shot me. Looking like a Rob Liberace. It's all good, from Diego to the Bay. The city is the pride of the city, make it bang. All the fingers, they feel the same way. Straight putting it down for California, West Coast.
Drinkies. All right, guys, thanks for working out with us. Don't forget to log in to Wodify, check in to Facebook, and don't forget about your cash out. Get your 1,600 meters in throughout the day. We're going to end the stream. Appreciate you guys working out with us, and we will see you on Monday.